It's MistaJam with the controls, and I am joined right now by our very, very special guests and the artist behind this week's Jam Hot Record of the Week. Disclosure with us on FaceTime!
Hey, what's going on?
We have got Guy currently in the studio. That's why your microphone sounds crispy clear. It's beautiful.
That's right. I've got as much of a radio voice as you do today.
Are you after a job? Because you're more than welcome. There's this space.
Yeah, my mum's always told me I have a face for radio, so maybe, yeah.
Never that. Howard, where are you, man?
I'm just in the garden, man. Just chilling.
Oh,
it's a beautiful day. I didn't want to be inside.
It is beautiful where you're both LA based now, right? Aren't you?
I wouldn't say based,
Guy is,
but
I'm just out here, but Guy lives here.
Yeah, Howard's telling people I live here, but I mean, I only moved back here. I have a place here, and I have for like years, but I also live in London, so it's pretty split. But yeah, on a day like today, compared to freezing London, I know where I want to be.
I'm telling you, at the point where you can have a place in LA and you go, do you know what? It's January. I'm going to go to LA. That's when you know you're winning.
Yeah, never thought, like sort of 10, 15 years ago, living in Reigate in Surrey, that would happen. So here we are.
From Surrey to LA. That's the name of the disclosure autobiography, right?
The doc, yeah. When the documentary finally gets made, yeah, from Reigate to LA.
I mean, I would definitely watch that, no doubt. So listen, the track You've Got to Let Go If You Want to Be Free has been crowned this week's Jam Hot Record of the Week because we are truly, truly loving it here at Capital Dance. It really feels like classic Disclosure with a 2022 twist.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree, actually. Yeah, I don't usually sort of compare our tunes to stuff we've made in the past. You know, it's just sort of whatever is in our heads that day gets made. But I think for two reasons, you know, Howard being on the lead vocal really is going to immediately make it sound like a Disclosure song. Specifically, F for You. I feel like it's like we've developed our skills over the last 8 years, and it's kind of like the vibe of F for You with everything we've learned, plus the addition of Zed and his talent. So put all that into a mixing bowl, and this is kind of what came out. It's the first song we ever made together, you know, the first day we were ever in the studio together.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, we've known each other for years, and we have the same agent in the States and same residency even in like Vegas. So yeah, we have a lot of connections, but we've never actually just got it together musically and said, let's do something. And this was the first thing we made. So, but you know, most of our songs are like that. We usually every collab we've done is usually upon meeting that person on that day. And it's just kind of like the meeting of minds is where the magic comes from for us anyway. You know, I know people who need to get to know the person and want to hang out a lot before the session. That's totally fine as well. But for us, it's kind of like we've always just gone in and just thought, you know, what are you thinking about today? What's on your mind? You know, what mood are you in? What genres are you listening to? And we just go from there.
I mean, it does feel like it's lending itself to the lyric, you've got to let go if you want to be free. You've got to let go if you want to make sure that the collab bangs as hard as this one does.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now, I want to talk very briefly about the very unique release party that the pair of you had around at Zed's place. Howard, tell me about this club he's got in his house.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. Like I've only been to Zed's house that one time. And it was dark, so I didn't like have a full tour of the place, but it was insane. Like it's an amazing house. He just got a new studio built, which looks unreal. And yeah, the club was popping. It was popping. It was
I would probably
really,
just
really
say it's not actually a club. It's his guest house that he made into a club.
But he made it feel like a club.
It didn't seem like a guest house. I didn't see a bed, so there was no one sleeping in there.
Yeah, the only giveaway that it wasn't like a legit club yet was that there's still a TV in that room. Other than that, I wouldn't have known.
Yeah. Well, unless, of course, he's, you know, showing some movies at the same time as he's, you know, raving it out with all of the Hollywood A-listers.
Could be that, yeah. There was definitely, he sort of tried to make it a little English too. Like there was darts going on outside, and there was like like a pool table, which should be a snooker table really if it's going to be a pub, let's be honest. But it was like nice, and he made this like custom cocktail list as well. So there was like the Latch, and You've Got to Let Go, and like all of a couple of his songs. But I think I drank about 20 the Latch. So
what did they taste like?
Gin, a lot of gin.
Yeah.
So the door was left off the latch afterwards. Sorry, dad joke.
Yeah.
Sorry.
There
Nice,
he goes.
nice.
There he goes.
But actually,
yeah, no, it was a crazy party. I definitely felt like the most English I've felt for a while there. Just because I turned up at the party and there were all these amazing things and like people were talking, and I just gravitated immediately to the dartboard and couldn't stop playing for like half an hour.
I don't
with
blame
all the
you.
other English people.
Did you win though? That is the question. Did you get 180?
I got a decent score. I think I was second or first out of about 5 people. So I'll take it.
That to me sounds like the perfect night. Forget the tunes, forget the raving, bit of dance.
Forget the 8-hour DJ set. Just play darts.
I mean, yeah, and to be fair, like forget most of the night because we were hammered.
Yeah, that.
Well, you have earned it. You have earned it. And I mean, look, you mentioned the cocktail called the Latch. Latch is 10 years old next year. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's actually this year.
This year, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah, it came out because the album came out in 2013, but we released Latch in 2012. So
the single, what was it, September-ish or so? Oh God.
Yeah.
I can't believe. I mean, look, I 10 years ago I had hair and there was no grey in my beard. But I mean, the pair of you were so young when that record came out, and I know I saw on your socials recently you actually went back to the home studio where Latch was made. That must have been a moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like the only time I've been back because like our dad works downstairs from that place. So, we popped up, but it's the first time I've been back for maybe like 3 years. And it's changed a lot. Like there's been a huge leak in the roof again. And like all of our equipment's either broken or not there. So it doesn't feel that great going back into that room, but I still thought I should document it.
I mean, it does feel though like it from Reigate to LA. It feels like that's where the documentary starts.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
We were very lucky to have that room, to be honest. It had no running water, no heating. It was stunk. It was damp, and everyone who was on the first album came through that room at some point. And I don't know. Yeah, it was just a magical time. There was something about that room. Disgusting or not. I was actually chatting to Jack from Foals the other day, and Yanis a bit as well, and they were saying like most of their favorite songs they've made have been in disgusting, horrible, damp basements. And as you progress through your career, you get offered more and more fancy, nice studios, and that doesn't always mean it's going to be a good tune, And so like with this tune with Zed, we just wrote that at our house in a bedroom that's just like this, just a very small room that's just been converted into a studio. There's not much fancy gear here. It's echoey. I stuck all these tiles up myself. There's no science behind it.
Wow.
There's running water, but
which is a bonus, and there's no damp, right?
There's no damp, I think, but there was a leak in that bathroom, like when I moved in, and there was water cascading down the floor. I don't know, man, but these rooms are, we've been writing a lot in this room recently, and yeah, all I'm saying is fancy studio doesn't necessarily mean an idea is going to pop into your head. If it does, you're going to record it at very high quality. Maybe 10-20% better than you could at home, but who cares? Like the vibe is what you need. Like it's the idea that needs to come into your head. And when we were using that room, we had a lot of ideas, and yeah, it was 10 years ago, which is pretty crazy. Howard was still at school.
You were still at school? Jeez.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I got kicked out like maybe 6 months to a year after that was released because I was like, my attendance was so bad or whatever.
I didn't realise you were still at school.
Yeah, I mean, I was probably like on your show, to be honest, Jam.
You were? I didn't realise you had to get a pass from the teacher to come.
That was the problem. They were like, your attendance is below 60%, which means that you're missing like 2.5 days a week of school. And
it was,
why?
It was worse. Towards the end, it was even worse than that. They called me into the office and they were like, do you even want to come to this college? And I was like, yeah, I'm here. I can only come like 1 day a week. And they were like, yeah, we're not good with that. We're not going to go for that.
Oh, I think it worked out all right for you though. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it went okay. But yeah, no, I mean, it was a funny time, man. Like my music teachers, who were also Guy's music teachers when he went through that college, like they just would lie to the rest of the staff and say that I was there because they knew that I was out doing music. And it's like, well, I'm studying music. So that's what I should be learning about. But eventually, like, you know, all the secrets got out and they realized I hadn't been there for like a month.
Yeah,
and they were like,
it was frustrating because if it had been a university and not a sixth form college, it probably would have been encouraged, and you probably would have ended up getting a degree. But because it was a sixth form, you had to have a certain amount of attendance or they kick you out, and it was like we just couldn't do shows, festivals, and everything. It'd be like, Howard, where you been? He'd be like, Turkey. Like, why? Oh, I had a show in Turkey. Like,
kind of got a music career that's really kicking off for me at the moment.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I remember like I fell asleep in like a media studies class or something and got into trouble because I was asleep. And they were like, why are you asleep? Like, were you out drinking last night? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, oh, right, well, you shouldn't go to house parties. I was like, I wasn't. I was in Stuttgart. Like, I was somewhere in Germany.
Yeah,
the
always
ultimate
fly Howard back in time. Fly Howard back in time for school in the morning was the game. If he could make it, we'd put him there. But yeah, it all worked out.
I've got to ask you though, because you know when that came out, Howard, you were still at school, Guy, you just come through sixth form college, and what advice would you give to the versions of you 10 years ago that you know that you were, with something that you've learnt along the way that maybe would have meant that it's a bit of a quicker road for you to be able to get to where you are, but just a real piece of advice that you give to the young versions of yourself before Latch was released?
Well, I honestly, I don't think it could have been quicker. So there's no advice needed there. It was so fast. So that's all fine. It would be more just like probably advice of how to keep sane and healthier, and not feel any pressure. I don't know, man. Yeah, we've always been pretty level-headed guys. I mean, me personally, I've been playing drums since I was like 1, and I've never had any other vision in my mind ever about what I'd want to do. So there was none of those classic stories of like parents saying, make sure you get a real job, you know, you can't do this, or, you know, the most it would ever be would be like, if it doesn't work out after a couple of years of gap year, then maybe consider going to university. That was it. Other than that, they were so encouraging. So I guess my advice would be, if you don't have encouraging parents, which like a lot of people don't, try and find some elsewhere through your friends, because it's incredible how much a human being can do in any field with just like a little bit of encouragement. And so many people get none, or the opposite. They get like people saying you can't do this or whatever. And look, it's a crazy industry, the music industry. It's a total 1% game. I mean, even less, you know, of the amount of musicians in the world and people who actually do it and make money is very small. But I don't know, man. All I can speak of is my own experience, and I've known I was going to do this since I was 1 year old. I've worked a couple other jobs. I worked in a pub. I worked in a clothes shop in Reigate as well. And the entire time,
what clothes shop? I need to know details.
No, it was white stuff. It was like
yes.
I was selling like mum's cardigans all day, right? And I was so miserable. I was the worst person to have in that shop. And it wasn't because I wasn't like appreciative of the job. I had like a deep feeling of this is wrong. So
you knew it was
that would be my advice. Yeah, it was just like follow your gut instinct and try and find some people who are going to encourage you and keep you going, because we had that, and I really think that was one of the most important things of it all, was the encouragement.
Same for you, Howard.
I definitely agree with that. Yeah, I think the only thing I'd add would be like something that I've learned is I think it's really important to just make music that you want to hear, rather than trying to please anyone else, which I see a lot of people doing that. Especially young people. And I think that's just such a valuable thing, but it's not really the sort of lesson that you can learn when someone just tells you it. You have to it has to be a self-taught lesson, when you do it wrong and make something that you're not proud of, and then you realize why, and then you try again and just be like, actually, well, even if this is really weird, like Latch originally, like the demo of Latch is weird, but I loved it. And so I showed it to Guy, and then he loved it. And then we showed it to Sam and Jimmy, and then they loved it. And then we wrote Latch, and it's like, I think you've just got to follow what you actually want to hear and what gives you pleasure to listen to, you know.
I absolutely love that. I love that. My big thing for 2022 is integrity, not credibility. Credibility is what somebody else thinks about what it is that you're doing. Integrity is what you wanted to do in the first place.
Yeah. And if you make the music that's in your heart, no matter the reviews, no matter what people think of it, you won't really mind, because you're like, it was almost inevitable this was the song I was going to make, because I didn't sculpt it to be something else. I didn't try and make it into something that I thought people would like. It was in my head and I put it out. And if that's your only way of doing it, you're basically invincible to negative reviews, because you're like, that's all I can make. That's me, you know. And I don't know if it was Prince or someone who said, like, if you're not getting any bad reviews, you're not trying hard enough. You should be pissing some people off, you know. If you're putting out music and everyone's like, that's nice. No, you should have some people saying, wow, this is insane, and some people being like, I hate that. That's probably a good place to be.
Yeah, if you don't get an emotional reaction, then you know that you're just basically making wallpaper.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I guess for someone like Prince, and it is true for me personally too, is that if someone says, "Oh, this sounds exactly like something you already made," again, that's a signal for me of like, you're not trying hard enough. You know, I'd rather make something fresh that is really weird and not many people like, than exactly the same thing again. You know, if people say like, make Latch 2 or make When a Fire Starts to Burn 2 or whatever it is, it's like, why? What's the point? What enjoyment will I get from that in the studio? This exists already. You can go listen to it. I'm never going to delete it. It's always going to be there.
It's always
I'm going to do something else now. Yeah, I'm going to do something else now.
I love that. And I love the fact that, you know, the pair of you, you're not afraid to kind of make musical choices that some people would deem as risky. But I think what you always do, and the thing that I always get from a Disclosure record, is I know that you've put your heart and soul into it. There's very few times that you can say that of an artist that have had career as long as you guys have had, to know that everything that you put out there, you can feel that you care.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I think that's because our fingerprints are across every step of the process, you know. I think a lot of the times, like if you're a singer, you're probably a fantastic poet, lyricist, and vocalist, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to want us to sit at a laptop and make the beat to the song, let alone like master the song. You know, it's rarer that someone wants to be involved in the entire process, and it's totally fine if you don't. Like, you know, if your talent is just singing, be the best singer you can. Like, I can't sing at all. Luckily, Howard can a bit. But what I'm saying is, I think the reason that you might feel that about our music is because we literally do all of it, like from the inception of the idea to sometimes even singing it, and then I mix it all and even go to the mastering session and do that. It's like I'm obsessed with being involved with every single aspect of it right up until it appears on your platform of choice. So it's very like, our DNA is like across the whole thing. You know, I can't imagine a Disclosure song where someone else has mixed it, because especially in electronic music, half of your sound quote is the mix. Yeah. I think, you know, the way you sculpt it all, the way even the panning, even everything about it has to sort of come through both of our brains for it to feel that authentic Disclosure vibe, I think.
I want to talk to you briefly about stuff that you're doing outside of music, because Howard, you're known for your gardening now. Are we going to get like a
Am I really? What have you heard?
Listen, we follow you on social media. We know, and you're currently talking to us from your garden. Is there going to be a range of Disclosure seeds on the way?
That would be amazing. Yeah, no, yeah, I mean, for anyone who hasn't checked that out, I mean, basically, I just, like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I moved to the countryside. This isn't it. This is like I'm just renting this while I'm in LA. But yeah, in Sussex, I have a farm where I basically grow my own food and planted like thousands of trees. And I just got really into it. I haven't found a way to like link it to the band yet. And I don't know if we will, but if there is a way that someone thinks of, I'm totally down to like.
Seeds. You just said it. Seeds is the thing, man. That's what we need to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I tried to like make one of my chickens a celebrity online, Ricky, which didn't quite work out. Because chickens tend to get eaten by foxes occasionally, and it was sad. Yeah, but maybe my goats, they seem a bit sturdier. I think they're going to last a few more years.
It works. It does work. Maybe sample a goat in a future record. That could work.
I'm up for it personally. Yeah.
Wise guy just going, no, this is not going to happen.
No, I'm thinking about ways to do it. Like there are those goats that sound like humans when they shout. You know, those videos of goats just going mental. You could definitely sample one of them and make a synth out of it. Also, like fainting goats are one of my favorite things in the world. Have you seen them?
Yeah. I haven't seen fainting goats.
Oh, mate, Google that. You just scare them, and they have like some genetic thing going on, like loads of them, where their entire body just goes stiff safe, and then they just fall over. So and it takes nothing. You can just clap in their face, like, and they'll just go, "Huh!"
Yeah, I need to train my goats to do that. They don't do that.
They got to be a certain type of goat, I think, man. I don't know if it's learned.
We need to make sure that those are the goats that you've got, because I think that those are future disclosure videos right there.
Yeah, you could, like a dance floor of fainting goats, and when the drop comes, they all just fall. That would be great.
There you go. That's the award winner right there.
Done.
Other than watching videos of fainting goats, Guy, what do you do other than music? What do you do to unwind?
That's it. That's
Watching
all I
fainting
do.
Goats.
Yeah,
I can't argue with that at all.
No, I do other stuff. I actually, last year during the pandemic, I actually lived in Miami the whole time. So that was interesting and fun, and it was nice to be in nature for that whole time, because like my fiance is American, so I spend a lot of time out here personally anyway, outside of music. And so I've only ever been there for like crazy shows. So I always thought it was just a crazy party town, but it is. But outside of the beach, like it's beautiful. Like it's really, I enjoyed living there a lot. And yeah, I just liked being in nature. I think living in a city during that time last year was tough, any city. So I was very grateful to be out in nature for that time. But yeah, man, I like hobby wise, I just do my hobby for a living. So I can't really say, like I have something else that I like as much as music. I just try and stay healthy, hike, eat well. I love that. And that's about it. Yeah.
Well, that takes me on to the next thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about, because you always seem like positive balls of energy whenever you're on socials, the stuff that you were doing on Twitch and the track breakdowns and the interacting with people. It always seems like you're engaging with a load of positivity. And obviously the new song, You Gotta Let Go If You Want to Be Free, it feels like a disclosure affirmation. Can you help anyone that's listening right now with a really good affirmation for the day for them tomorrow? Something that's going to uplift them as much as you've got to let go if you want to be free.
Well, in one of our other songs, we sampled the great Eric Thomas, who's a motivational speaker, and I think that one's pretty good for a morning wake up mantra. Is where your focus goes, your energy flows.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry.
There you go.
I mean, I don't think we can top that. He's very good at making people feel better.
You know what? One of the best things about doing this Twitch thing, because I got this whole setup, is I have this. Now I really am coming for your job, right, with this.
I mean, you are more than welcome anytime. Listen, before we do sign the contract for the new Disclosure radio show here on Capital Dance, every guest that we have on the show, we get them their very own Capital Dance DJ card. So they're a bit like the Panini stickers or the kind of top trumps that were the big thing way back in the day. The idea is that I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and I want you to rate yourselves out of 100, and we will create a Capital Dance DJ sticker for the pair of you. Is that cool?
Okay, cool. Let's do it.
It's cool. What's stopping us just put 100 for everything?
Nothing is stopping you from putting 100 for everything. So, question number 1, songwriting skills. What would you score yourselves out of 100?
100.
Instrument skills out of 100.
Oh, okay. No, now this used to be for drumming. No, for drumming, I used to be up there, but now, I mean, I haven't had a drum kit even set up in my house for years. So I'll probably
say
put
72.
72.
Yeah.
I'll say 73 just to make sure I'm, above Howard. If we get a card each,
you could have a card each, definitely. Consider it done.
Great.
Mixing skills out of 100.
9. I'm a 9 personally.
Yeah. Howard's 9. I don't know. I mean, I'll go 88. I like that number. I got a long way to go still, a long way. But 10 years ago, I would have said 50. Like I definitely, I can see improvement. I hope people can hear it too, because I work really hard on that side of things. So yeah.
Love that. Crowd hyping skills out of 100.
See, that depends, right? Because like I would say if I'm sober, then like not good. But if I've had a tequila, really good, maybe. Like
you turn into a garage MC after a tequila.
I do, it starts to flow a bit like people just do nothing at that point. Yeah.
Lyrical bad
I've
boy
seen
MC.
Yeah, I lived in
Yeah.
West London for a long time, and I feel like I can tap into their vibe when I've had a tequila.
Yeah.
So,
same.
shall we get you a tequila score?
Oh yeah, I mean that we'll be getting 100. Yeah.
We'll put in brackets post tequila.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I always just wish I could sound like the guy who used to do the boiler rooms. You know, like we're inside the boiler room. That guy.
Yeah.
That's why I wish I had that naturally, just to be able to just say anything and it sound as cool as that. But no, I think we both need to downgrade ourselves on this one, man. It's not good.
Yeah, mate. I'm gonna say pre-tequila I'll be a 36. Post-tequila I'm gonna be a 54.
Nice.
54, yeah. I mean, I do more of the crowd hyping than Howard, so
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean it's better. So I'll go 40 in the middle of those.
Perfect.
Nice.
Here's the one that normally catches people out. Dancing ability out of 100.
9.
9 again, Howard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say it. Like, listen, I've got 3, experimentally 4 moves that I have in my arsenal, and I think I use 2 of them on the regular behind the decks. But they only work behind the decks. You know, if you did them out in the crowd, it would look weird.
Okay.
So
I'm
yeah, I'm gonna give myself a 9.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah,
What are the 2 moves? I need. Are we talking stuff like that?
No. I'll give you a quick. It's this.
Ooh, the 2-step shuffle.
Yeah, it's that constantly for as long as the DJ set lasts. Yeah.
I like that. Helps you keep beat.
Do you always do it with no trousers on as well, Howard?
Yeah. That's part of the thing. I only Zoom with no trousers on.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah.
Same here, guys. That's why I'm not standing up.
Yeah, nice. It feels better, right? It feels better.
Yeah, that's definitely one thing we all learned in 2020 is it's better to be on Zoom with no trousers on.
Oh, 100%. Although I am in a radio studio at the same time, we'll have to put the trousers on before I leave.
Yeah, you're a poor producer.
I know. Sorry, Ryan. Sorry about that, man. Dancing ability guy.
Yeah, that's 7. I like that number. Yeah, it's poor. It's poor.
And finally, outfit style. Now, the pair of you are extremely stylish. Sorry, I couldn't say it with a straight face.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah. I mean, for the last for the last 6 to 7 years, we've had a rule, which is that we almost exclusively just wear all black everything, because then no one talks about your fashion because it doesn't draw any attention. So I think with that in mind, you know, we're not doing too bad because all black's never not been in. But
always in style.
We don't push the boat out too much. Yeah.
Yeah, on stage it's fine because you're a DJ, you can dress in all black, it's fine. In the real world though, I mean, yeah, it's so bad. My friends always say to me, like, why don't you just get like people to send you free clothes all the time and you could look like really cool all the time. And I'm like, I just can't be bothered. Like, there's literally not one part of me that wants to either go shopping or try and get free clothes because we're in disclosure. So I end up with just like, I have one pair of jeans at the moment. Like, I just don't care about clothes, and it's sad for the people who have to look at me.
Well, I think after this interview goes out, we're definitely going to get that white stuff collaboration sorted.
Maybe that's what did it. I was working there for a couple of years, and I was like, all these clothes suck. Like, I don't like clothes anymore.
No, thank you to the clothes. No.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I think for that, I don't know. Yeah, on stage it's fine. I think 50. We're just completely mid because it's all black. But outside of that, I mean, maybe like a 20. There was a time as well, right, where we were making the 3rd album, when we made most of the 3rd album at my house in London, and it would be rare that Howard would turn up without mud all over him.
What have you been doing, Howard? You've been farming?
Yeah. Yeah,
so just that alone, you know, it's like Howard's walking around London about to go to the studio, make an album, and he's just covered in mud.
Yeah.
But he has got videos of fainting goats, which is important.
Yeah. You got to bring these people back to earth, you know. You got to shake their hand and just get it a bit muddy. Just remind them, like, we're all from the earth. Don't get ahead of yourself.
And to be fair,
Celebrities,
Khalees followed your lead with her farm and everything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Celebrities
Not
do
just
always
me.
seem to enter like I don't care anymore stage. We've just always been there. We never left it.
Maybe we'll enter a caring stage at some point.
Yeah. Next time in 10 years, I'll just be decked out in Gucci, everything.
Well, listen, don't ever change. I will say that. Please don't ever change because you haven't changed so far. So why would anything else happen? Before I let you go, though, I do have to ask. You alluded to the fact that you've been working. Is there going to be more Disclosure music coming? Is there an album in 2022? Is there? I know you're doing a load of live shows. Is there going to be more new music, more collaborations? What can you tell us?
Definitely more music, more collaborations, and live shows. Thank God for that. Finally, album? No, I don't think there'll be an album this year. We haven't got enough songs to do that, and we don't have an aim to do it because we're actually unsigned now. We're out of our contract, and we've got this new freedom to kind of structure our releases however we want. And so it's quite nice to have the freedom again to make a track and just put it out, rather than then having to make 9 more. And then that one you made that you loved is now a year old, and you're kind of well, people might still like it because they haven't heard it, but I'm bored of it. We're in this zone now where how it used to be, where we just make a track and upload, and then you're kind of excited about it too. The tune with Zed, it's like a couple of months old, so we're as excited about it as hopefully the world is. So I think we're just going to continue that. Maybe there's an EP or something, but in terms of albums, don't think so. But it's better for the fans, really, because there'll just be a more constant stream of music throughout the year, so that's cool.
And that's exciting, the fact that, that you're self-releasing again. That's really exciting.
It's crazy, man. Yeah, it's crazy. It's 3-album deal finished now. We were in it for 8 years, and it was great. I'm not hating on the label or anything. That we wouldn't be where we are today without them. But when you're in one of those deals, and you say you want to do an EP, you can do one, but then you still have another album that you've got to do if you ever want to be unsigned. So we did it. And now we can go back to doing it however we like. I think there will be more Disclosure albums for sure. Just taking this time now to enjoy the because there's so many cool new ways of releasing music now. There's all these platforms, Web3's coming in. There's so many exciting things to do in the space. It's just quite good timing for us, I think, to experiment in that world, and not just do the classic major label album after album thing.
Well, whatever it is that you have got for us, that we will be supporting here at Capital Dance. Massive fans of yours, as always. Howard, Guy, Disclosure, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate you. And listen, the next song, let's do this again.
Sounds good. Yeah,
100%.
I think we're going to make more of a big sing and dance about individual songs now. I remember at Zed's house for the party, I was like, this is the craziest release party I've ever been to for one song. You usually do that for a whole 2 years work on an album. We just put a song together and had a huge party. So let's do more of that.
Let's do it on the farm. There you go.
Yeah, do it on the farm. We'll have goat racing day for the next release.
I'm going to go on the one that fades, please. Yeah?
Yeah, nice.
Fiver on that one.
Wear a helmet.
Guys, honestly, I cannot thank you enough. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for doing this so early as well, at LA time. But honestly, the next time that you're over here, we need to do something in the studio together.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Sounds good. Thanks for having us, and thanks so much for the continued support as well. You've
thanks,
been with us.
Cheers.
You've been with us for a long time, so appreciate it.
No, honestly, thank you. If you made music, I wouldn't do it.
I believe you.
Yeah.